Hello, everyone. Welcome to the after church tea time. We're very happy to be with you today. I'm Yurin. I'm joined by Abir, who did the sermon today, and Fabian. And obviously, we're going to discuss the Sunday service and especially the theme, which is like why rest is so important on your twin flame journey. Um, your sermon was packed with goodness and insights, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I just wondered if you guys had any feelings watching the sermon and service and things coming up at this time to start the conversation.
Yeah, that was really a really refreshing Sunday service today. And something that stuck to me was what Drake mentioned at the end was like the sermon felt like going to the beach and sitting in this chair with your drink and the umbrella in it, kind of. And that also paints a picture of like what rest should feel like, right? That there's a season for being very active, but there's also a season of being restful and recharging. And Abir, you mentioned that as well with the seasons, right? We have seasons in a lot of places on Earth. And that is something that we can learn from nature is basically, right? Rest, recharge, and then from that place, we can be active, we can blossom. And that is something that, yeah, in society, we kind of forgot for some time, for a few decades, or but it's coming back. Like in workplaces, people are realizing, oh man, we need to have a balance, right? We need to have a work-life balance. And yeah, definitely something that I am learning as well better is energy management. And yeah, I think that's a lifelong lesson, really, but very fruitful.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I kind of want to piggyback on your feeling that we were at the beach, like, or that Drake mentioned that it was kind of like we were at the beach and resting while listening to a sermon, and it feels like it's kind of a preparation to the spiritual life summit in a way, like to coming together and to just enjoying each other. And it kind of feels like that rest and relaxation that I guess the universe is offering to us. And I really enjoyed what you said, Abir, about the planet having an ebb and flow, because that's the ebb and flow of the universe. And I feel that the ebb and flow is also in us. We just have to surrender to it. Um, and yeah, that's kind of my feeling. It's like a preparation time, a resting time. Like we don't have to push. Like we can also receive. So yeah, I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Do you agree? Do you have other like insights on it?
Yeah, you're right, Irene. I feel like I was not seeing that side of, um, going to the SLS is going to help me rejuvenate and receive more. And this is where probably I had that resistance, so I don't needed to work through that. And I feel like there's still parts where I feel like I'm not worthy of that much of receiving, or like because of being like having that habit of um the go go go. So I'm still like upheaving that pattern and allowing myself to receive is like an active work for me right now. Like, yeah. So I agree with you. This is a big sign of that we can allow ourselves to really open our hearts and receive from God. Yeah.
That reminds me as well what Ocean share in the beginning, the cards is like we can always go to God, to our source for rest when we need it. And what comes to me now is that doesn't necessarily have to look like, I have to take a nap. I can also connect with God always, right? No matter what I'm doing, even while I'm working, I can connect and recharge already. And yeah, I'm not dependent on, any outside activities, really. I can find out what works for me. And for some people, it's a bubble bath that is the self-care activity, but for me as a masculine, really what helps recharge me is also giving, right? That is something that I struggled with for a long time, is that I thought resting and self-caring has to look like the bubble bath and all of these kind of things. And for me, I only need a minimum of that, really. And then my energy expands when I'm active and giving.
Yeah, it's really interesting to hear your take on it. Like, I can say that your lesson and story also speaks to me as well, Abir, because like I have a tendency to always be in a do
Mm.
mood. And up until like a few weeks, I was kind of living through pressure, really. Like, and I had to heal that, be very diligent in healing that in the past few years, so that I could allow myself to rest. Because like I was exhausting myself trying to do everything at the same time. And I feel like I'm just starting to understand what flow actually is. And what really struck me in the sermon is when you said that Shaleia shared one day that a healthy mind should be able to be blank. And being with like ADHD, like I don't know what that is, like, but that's definitely something that I'm coming into. And so like I love to have like, for example, active meditation, um
Mm.
having a walk, drawing, doing art, putting on makeup. Like I'm finding that these are the things that I would refuse to myself before, and that actually helps so much. And I love that you kind of explain like the scientific reason why rest is so important, and why our brain needs to reset and our nervous system needs to reset. And actually like you're speeding up things in your in the way you're doing things, just because you're resting, because you're not exhausting yourself through pushing. And I really enjoyed that. I feel like it's insightful, and I'm thinking like no wonder that we were called to doing this sermon today. Like obviously like it speaks to a part of us, and there's obviously like a big lesson for each of us there.
Yeah. Like Fabian said, it's like a lifelong learning. And what I've found is when I have rested well, I'm able to be more productive. And the longer, or like the more quality, the deeper quality of my rest is, the better result or better like quality of my presence is. So I feel like this not only fills my cup, yeah, and it prepares my body and it prepares my rhythm, it prepares my mind, and also it gives room for insights, intuition. Like if your mind is blank, it's like a clean slate. And a lot of times preparation is good, but there is more like confidence and relaxation in knowing that you will be given the thought that you require in that moment. And there's trust and faith in that. But once you start building that, then you're not always bombarding yourself with thoughts and holding on to thoughts that you just had a few minutes ago, and you need it's a more peaceful way, I feel. Yeah, although sometimes it may feel adventurous, but that is the joy of it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to go deeper into the miracles, so to speak, that you may have experienced from realizing that you could let go of that control, surrender, and start resting. Um, and I'm curious about the stories that you have to share there. I would say that personally, like sometimes I feel like, oh crap, I fell asleep earlier today. Oh my gosh, I didn't work as much as I wanted to. I'm stressed. And God was like, yeah, no worries. Like, you're good. I still have time. And obviously, like, I was able to perform better the day after. Like, I was really supported. And it felt like also people felt like they were coming together to support me as I give myself that support, and I find it so beautiful. And there's just something that may seem so illogical with flowing, with our internal rhythm, but that is so beautiful and natural when you're just in your feeling, um, your
Mm.
beingness. And yeah, that's just one of the examples of how it manifests in my life. But what about you guys?
So I have this. This is so funny you brought it up. It's literally about this after church tea time. And I was a little bit stressed about it. And I was like, okay, we have to go live and you have to be prepared. And I asked Yoreen for her help. And even when everything was organized, like um, I'm like, okay, I need to be prepared for this and this. And I reminded myself the sermon is about rest. So I need to trust God here. So I give myself this rest so that the rest is my preparation for the sermon, right? So it's the practical lesson that God has gifted through the sermon. And literally a few minutes ago, Fabian messaged like, "How about I joined?" I was like, "Wow, this felt like a miracle." Like I was like, "This is great," and yeah, I felt it kind of answered that prayer of support. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I felt the call to show up here. And I took a nap today. I was very restful, and then I felt good to join here last minute. And I had this as well, where I'm like, I should be working right now, probably, or I should be doing this or that, right? But when I'm encountering that it's not giving me the results that I really desire, then it could be because I just need to let it go. And I did experience that when I invest in myself and I do something fun, or I play. Cats are playing a lot in the background. The play is also rejuvenating. Then miracles happen, and I got a lot of results. Oftentimes when I was, releasing the control and then just detaching from it, and then maybe I experienced uh, a sale, for example, someone like a client booking something, and that really happens when I'm in a good vibrational state where I'm rested and just peaceful. Yeah.
Wow, that's so good. So many good insights here. Like, first of all, you took a nap and then you felt called to join. That's so funny. Did you guys know I didn't know what the sermon was going to be about until I was watching the service. So it was so fun. And I got myself like all the rest I needed, like all the flow, like I was half working, half resting today. And it felt so good. And then Fabian's cats are demonstrating like what it means to just flow with God, like just be cool, play, rest, rejuvenate. And I find that funny too. And yeah, I had a pretty I learned this not the hard way yesterday, but kind of because I worked until my probably like a little bit after my last coaching session yesterday. And I couldn't work. It was like I had a block. But then I realized that I was feeling anxious and stressed about my twin flame for some reason. And I really needed to take that time to just lay on the couch, process my
Mm,
feelings, and it took a few hours, but it was really like it brought that peaceful flow that I was feeling today. So if I hadn't stopped, I would have been in that anxious state all weekend, and I could start to dissolve it basically by laying on the couch. So it felt like I was doing nothing, but I
mm,
was actually doing something. And I think like when we're um watching Twin Flame Ascension School, we have that example so many times. Like for half a day, someone is resting on their couch and in a pivotal and things like that, and we're like, oh my gosh, I should do this and I should do that and I should be here, I should be doing that. But like actually, they were like healing the biggest piece yet in their journey. So it's always so fun to look back on these moments where we feel so afraid that we're doing something wrong. I feel like we're healing that. So afraid that we're just not doing the right things. Even though, yes, the journey is about hard work, but it's mostly mainly about giving to yourself. And that may take several forms. And sometimes that's creating stuff, and sometimes that's just like laying down, being with God. And I think we're learning, as you were saying, to detach from the capitalistic way of feeling like we're just a body, having value when we do. We actually have value when we are, and just being with God. So yeah, big lesson for sure.
yeah. It reminded me of I saw this video on YouTube about this lady from Netherlands, and she talks about a concept which is very prevalent in Netherlands. I'm forgetting the name. I think Fabian would know this. And it's a very like known concept where people are like, I'm in my rest mode, so I'm gonna be in my pajamas and like no expectation of what the day is gonna go like. And sometimes you can just take a drive and there's no planning. There's no planning. So it's like they actively as a culture follow that. And I find that really beautiful. And I feel like Europe as such offers that, like you guys would know better. And yeah, I do have like we received that in Australia as well, but I feel like Europe has really that time of, and I know I think Italy or like Greece is famous for their siestas. They shut down their shops in the afternoon and they go and take time to sleep, and then they come back and open the shops. So they are really they have harnessed this as a culture and know the importance of rest as well.
Yeah, yeah. The Greek people and stuff, right? They do that. And I think oftentimes it's a fear of missing out leading to working, doing. And or if I don't work, then I won't reach that goal or this goal. But the issue then is that it is coming from a place of fear
Mm.
rather than from a place of peace, right? And then the work itself isn't fun, and the whole thing isn't fun. And like how Drake shared, for example, that he experienced health issues stemming from having double shifts every day, for a long time. And then basically his doctor's telling him, hey man, it's time to rest, take a chill pill, And well, it's a good thing though that somehow our body is communicating to us, and if we don't pay attention, then the communication gets louder until we finally listen, and then we get the communication eventually, right? And that is really a good thing because we learn how to listen to subtler and subtler communications from ourselves, so that we can really understand when it's time to rest, when it's time to recharge, or then really now I can just go and go and go, but it feels good, right? That can also happen.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like, I used to, when I was feeling that pressure, I used to fall sick almost every month. That wasn't fun. And there was really a lesson there about like having a good relationship with myself and with the inner work and things like that. And I do agree that there is, you're right to say that there is this fear of missing out. And I feel like all of us, like as a global culture, we're healing that. Just like feeling that you're just going to miss your moment, to miss your opportunity, and definitely healing that right now. Like it's like a perfectionism. I feel like it pushes us to do things in a very negative way instead of like flowing. Like for example, like um, I used to be like, oh my gosh, like I can't share my website if it's not like pristine and perfect, or I can't show my art to people until like it's this Van Gogh type of thing. No, I wasn't saying that, but you get the gist, right? Um, and yeah, I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like I have a few people that I help with their art that are like that, and they put so much pressure on themselves, and I can appreciate like the long way I've come here, and hopefully like we can get our message out in the world more and more so that people can understand like, hey, like you have space, you have time, and even like sharing your process is something very beautiful, very very human. Like people are craving that realness, that authenticity, and you don't have to be that perfect person that is always all the opportunities like everywhere all at once, never sleeping, and always working. And yeah, and dropping the comparison also with how other people would do, because like you're sure to get really depressed if you're just looking at what other people are doing or how fast or slow they're working. And yeah, I just feel like the overall feeling is we're learning that we don't have to perform through pressure, and we have to learn that more and more so that we can, keep up. Like, but keeping up with the world doesn't mean like keeping up with the pressure. It means like changing our old selves and finding our own rhythm, something that works for us.
Yeah, as you were talking about art, it reminded me that during my singing lessons, my teacher has this habit, like we have practice before we start singing melodies. So in this practice sessions, the practice is to speed up speed up it's called paltas in Indian classical music. So the faster you go, there's a tendency of wanting to control more, to get it right, to get the tones right. But what I felt that when I tell myself to relax and let it slip from my mouth, it gets easier. And it actually it's more perfect that way. Like, and allowing myself to make mistakes. So what if I make mistakes? But it's the relaxation in the background that allows me to go faster. It's a very counterintuitive way to do that, but I've noticed that for sure.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I teach that to my students too. Like, I teach music to kids, and when they lack singing, they have a tendency to block their breath and just prepare for the big notes, and basically they're blocking everything up here, and they're like, ooh, tension. And I'm like, you know what? Like, we're going to try that again, but you're going to be very relaxed. You're going to move your arms freely. They're going to take a big breath. And usually, like, they have so much control, which is like ironic, so much control on their voice when they're relaxed instead of
Mm.
preparing for a big fight and just like not breathing at all. And yeah, there's a huge lesson also in music for sure in not controlling. And so I feel you.
Yeah, like breathing is super important, right? And if you are relaxed, then you have a very like calm breath, but it goes deep, rather than when you are stressed, then it's like a flat breathing, and it doesn't really work as efficiently, I guess. And yeah, not an expert on that, but that's something I noticed. And when you are stressed and you're really saying that I'm lacking something, I don't have enough. I'm worried. I'm chasing after something, and then if we give ourselves compassion there and that feeling of abundance, and I really like that exercise that you did in the sermon with like feeling your twin flame's presence and what that does to you and to your nervous system and all of that, right? That's really healing. Then I mean, that's kind of like the, that when you change your vibration by doing that, then you also change the outside, of course, right? And that's the key. And the benefit of knowing the inner work as well is that, hey, I don't necessarily have to change the outside, right? I don't have to get the life insurance. But I'm not saying that don't do that. What I'm saying is that the feeling of safety and rest comes from within first, and then from that place, then you can do all the external things like, oh, now I'm getting the life insurance if guided. Now I'm doing this retreat over there that helps me calm my mind, or I'm signing up for that art class, right? And that is really unique to everyone. And I guess for me, it's a lot about exploring what works for me and noticing how I feel when doing it, and if it works in my excuse me, if it works in my flow. Because, for example, when it comes to video games, there are certain video games that feel like they rather take from me and they disrupt my flow. And other video games, they are like, wow, they keep energizing me.
Yeah, as you were talking, it reminded me that sometimes if I want to rest, I actually go for a drive because I love driving. So I put on some nice music and I'm like, okay, let me just drive without putting the map on, and just take new turns and see where the road is going. And it actually relaxes me. It's funny. Like a lot of people will find it Like, how can driving relax you? But it does. Like, it makes me happy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It could
funny.
be different. Mm.
Yeah, driving and listening to music, yeah, that's my kind of thing too. I enjoy that for sure. Yeah, for me it's like I like biking as well. For some reason, and hiking. Obviously, like it's in the mountains, like on vacation. There's a
Mm.
feeling of feeling very safe, very connected with nature. I think you mentioned that in a sermon as well. Yeah, connecting to the earth, like connecting through the grass. Like I think it's really important. And yeah, there's just something about I'd forgotten that you mentioned the feeling of safety and security, but yes, like stress is like feeling lack and lack of security, lack of safety, lack of love, feeling alone, feeling like it's too big for you, or actually like you're not in any kind of danger. It's kind of like your nervous system is saying like danger, there is a death situation before you, even though there's not. And um and yeah, you were right about that. Like whatever happens, like we always get back on our feet, and I think that's what that life is about. Like it's not the absence of our challenges, it's just the way we manage them, I would say. Yeah, does that make sense? Just a thought that I had. And oh, sorry, Fabian, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just something what is coming to mind is also like just in general, um, where IBM mentioned that you can have a stable routine in your life, or you specifically mentioned for the bedtime, right? That you, if I understood correctly, you have a specific bedtime, but sometimes you feel like going to sleep earlier, for example, and then you follow that intuition, right? And yeah, that really is part of energizing routine is when you have these things handled. And you also mentioned having an organized space,
Yeah.
that can help the mind really relax because you don't have to worry about things. Um, or if you have, I guess when you are clear on certain choices, for example, in Divine Dish, where you follow a set of recipes every day for your food, for your meals, then you don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat today because it's already on the schedule, basically. And that frees you up to do other things, right? Because I guess there's practical limitation to what we can think through every day and plan every day. And the more we already have handled, the easier it gets for us to think about the things that are very creative and that move us forward in life.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the automation part that you mentioned as well. That's definitely something that I'm working towards. Like I'm not super mastered at that yet, but yeah, having funnels that work for me for my business, or having a home for every object, like that's something that I'm slowly working to. Like I feel like I'm finally in a space where I can think about this. But definitely like what I've mastered is having potentially like an hour to do everything. Like there's like I give myself at least 1 hour to do art, or I give myself at least 1 hour to cook, 1 hour to clean. And it's not like my house is like always like spotless, but at least like it remains in a very like clean state because I just maintain it every day, and that's what I'm working towards. And I think that's what works for me at this time. And hopefully, like the more I do that, like the more I can add automations into my routines, so and I can feel better. But like
Mm.
your sermon really helped shed a light on that.
Yeah. Yeah, by automation is also like, of course, through systems like digital systems, but even like, for example, the gardener that comes once a month, like he's kind of automated that he's gonna message me second week of every month. So he's gonna come like that. That's also kind of an automation where you have like systems to help you, maintain these things or put things in the calendar. That's what I started doing for myself. Like I need to look after my cat or have them vaccinated and all of that. I put it all in my calendar. So I'm not worried or thinking about it. Or how long has it been? And so little things, these kind of things help.
Mhm. Yeah. And I want to mention maybe as an open question or open discussion, because I realized that as we were talking, like we had very healing things happen to us after resting, and they all involve having the support from someone in the community afterwards, and like the way we helped each other today. It made me feel like not only were we like preparing for the Spiritual Life Summit, but also like that response to that cultural FOMO, like fear of missing out, was probably to cultivate like a sense of community, a way for you to like have moments of rest and know that no matter what, there's going to be someone that can support you and help you in the spaces. And that's definitely something that I'm working towards, like, for example, with my family, but that I already have in certain spaces with the community as well. And the more I go deep into that, like the more I find it's like so beautiful that we can heal ourselves and our relationships so much
Mm.
that we can count on others like more and more, and just find harmony there, not only with our twin flames, but also with bio family, like acquired family through like shared values and things like that. And I find that beautiful, and that's just like a thought that I wanted to share right now.
Wow, that was beautiful, Urane. Thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, we are definitely coming together as a community, and there's a oneness, is also increasing. And usually, like life events and life experiences, they really showcase that in particular. And I feel this event that is upcoming will really bring a lot of nice blessings to all of us. If you're attending or not attending, this is also what Jeff and Julia shared in a recent group coaching.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't wait really. I'm already feeling it, and you have some conversations on the side happening, and it's a good energy building. Yeah.
Yeah, me either. It's feeling good, and I agree with you. Like whether you're coming or not, like there's definitely something happening. First of all, there's something happening right now. Like there is an energy and momentum picking up. I remember like Sedona and not being able to come because the COVID
Mm.
laws were so difficult to handle, and things like that, and just feeling that energy of just like wow, this is heaven. Like I'm still here with my people. Like I feel so close to them, and the feeling that we're going to have that again, and maybe more because we've healed so much in the past 3 years. That is going to be so good, and yeah, that's just my thought. There's a lot there, and hopefully, like that's something we can share in our own time.
Yeah. And the wedding.
The wedding of
Yeah, I
Christina.
haven't had a wedding in a long time, so yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. Yeah, for sure. That's something that probably will be, I don't know if it will be, Sunday service obviously will be recorded for
Mm.
this channel. I'm guessing the wedding too, since it's like right after. So yeah, definitely like you guys like look out for it if you really desire to see a twin flame wedding with lots of twin flames and just loving people, kind people being together. Yeah. So we're starting to come to maybe like some sort of conclusion. Like, do you have anything else that you want to mention? Other insights that we haven't spoken about?
Yeah, I feel pretty good here as well, pretty complete. Just I have one more thought is that, in order to really get into a relaxed and restful state, there's the pre-requirement of feeling safe and secure. And that is something that was also mentioned. And yeah, so when you feel safe, then you can relax.
Mm.
I like that. So to
Yeah.
sum it up, you feel secure and safe inside yourself, then taking action and remember that all your blessings, your twin flame union, your abundance comes from being relaxed instead of feeling pressure like the world will try to tell you. Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Any last words up here?
Yeah, I feel quite good. I feel complete. Yeah, very peaceful.
All right then. Well, I would like to thank everybody that has watched this live or has watched us on YouTube. If you enjoy this kind of content, definitely like and subscribe and comment things that you would like us to talk about next. And share this if you want us to continue to do these types of content. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye bye.